Well, another day, another project. And today's project, a lot of people have been waiting for. I'm going to put some fuel in it, and we'll see if we can get it running. I need to get it checked for leaks. Like I said, I had the transmission out over the winter. The oil pan was off of it. And that fuel pump. This is the second time Enderley rebuilt it, and they swear they got it right this time. So I do need to test it. I'm only 2.5 weeks away from the show in Myrtle Beach, the Run to the Sun show. And also, you can probably see right here, the roof's not done. Well, I went down this past Monday to Patterson's Custom Upholstery in Statesville. And, you know, for the last 3 weeks, Ronnie's been telling me, I go there, he says, oh, come back next week, bring it next week. 3 weeks in a row. When I got down there Monday, he tells me he's too busy and he ain't gonna have time to do it. He suggests that I take it to his brother-in-law's shop and see if he had time to do it. So anyway, I went and found somebody else. A friend of mine knows somebody that did car detailing, and they knew somebody that did upholstery, and the guy's retired. His name is Lee. He come over here yesterday, looked at it, and he said he can do it. There'd be no problem at all. He thinks he can have it done this week. So, and he said he would do it here. So it should make a good video of how he measures and cuts everything and sews the seam. You know, I'm not too familiar with how that works either, so it'd be interesting. Well, as you can see over here, I got the battery charger on it. The car's been sitting for 3 months, so I just charged it up a little bit. But let me go get this barrel of fuel in here and see if I can get a few gallons pumped back in it, and hopefully we can take it outside and get it started. Well, last year when the season ended, I had a 5-gallon jug full, and I had about 2 or 3 gallons in the car. So what I did was put all the fuel back in the barrel. I want to empty the barrel. I'm supposed to take it down next week and bring it back, see if I can get it. Well, this past winter when I put the car up, I flushed all the fuel lines out with Marvel mystery oil, and then of course I left everything empty. So now that I got the fuel tank full, I just opened the valve I got. I don't know if you can see it down there. Anyway, you can see the Marvel mystery oil, but you see all that white cloudy? Looks like there must have been some condensation or water in it. But anyway, it's flushed out now. Let me get the fuel line hooked back up, and I'll get it pushed outside, and we'll see if it'll fire up. Cranked it over a little bit just to get some oil pressure up. And I'm going to turn the ignition on. We'll see what happens. Still a lot of oil in the motor from the winter. Temperature got up to 120. Figured out what the problem was. My dumbass didn't have the fuel on. Turned the fuel valve on underneath and it started right up. Because that's what happens when you get old. Well, I got it pushed back inside, and so far so good. I don't see no fuel leaks. The oil pan don't seem to be leaking. I added almost 2 quarts of transmission fluid. I knew once I started it would need a little bit more. Everything's dry underneath, so we're looking pretty good. The only problem I do have, and maybe somebody out there has had this similar problem or knows somebody that's had it. Last year when I built the car, I used a Willwood remote mount master cylinder, which I'll zoom down here. You can see it's hanging down right there. All right. I got the reservoirs mounted up under the seats. So the reservoirs are actually higher than all 4 calipers. So I'm not running any residual check valves on the calipers. And in the front, you can see here, I'm running SSBC aluminum 4-piston calipers in the front, and I'm running some Willwood, I don't know if you can see back there, but Willwood 2-piston calipers in the back. The back calipers were brand new, and the master cylinder was brand new. Well, every once in a while, this is kind of crazy, the car could sit here for 2 weeks and there won't be a drop of oil. And then I'll come up here the next day and there'll be 2 or 3 drops of brake fluid. And what it's doing, it's leaking. I don't know if you can see right here where the push rod goes into the master cylinder. It's leaking around that seal at the end of the master cylinder. Maybe 1 or 2 drops of brake fluid. And then I'll get in it, clean up the brake fluid, dry everything up, pump the brakes up. They're hard. I mean, the pedal only moves about 1 inch. I got fantastic brakes. I could lock up all 4 wheels with no trouble at all, even though it don't have power steering. Power steering. It don't have power brakes. But the shaft going in is level. In other words, it's not on an angle pushing up or pushing down. It's pushing straight in. So I called Willwood, and they sell a kit to rebuild the master cylinder, but they say you can't do it by yourself, that you got to send it back to the factory to have it rebuilt. And I asked him why. I said, sometimes this thing can sit for 2 or 3 weeks and there wouldn't be a drop. I can drive it, it don't leak a drop. I've driven it for a whole month and never leak a drop. And then all of a sudden it'll sit here, and one morning I'll come up here and there'll be 2 or 3 drops of brake fluid coming out of the front of the master cylinder. The guy tech guy from Willwood said that when they assemble them, they put a lot of grease on the O-rings. And he says something about that it might be the grease not making a good seal at the end or something like that. And he said I might have to send it back to them to check it out any further. Well, when you stand on the brake pedal, like I said, it don't leak. You can hold your foot on it for 5 minutes, keep pressure on the system. It won't leak a drop. But it could sit here for a week or 2 weeks, not leak a drop. Next day you come up here, there'll be 2 or 3 drops of brake fluid. I clean it up, pump the pedal, and it'll go for another week or 2 weeks, maybe a month. It won't leak a drop. I was wondering if anybody else out there ever had that kind of problem with a Willwood master cylinder. If you do, or suggesting or think of something, maybe, I don't know, I'm missing something, leave something in the comments and let me know. Well, I was going to take it out today for a test drive. I might this afternoon. As you can see outside, it looks beautiful outside. It's a sunny day, but it's 48 or 49 degrees right now. And this motor don't like running in the cold. So what I'm going to do is wait this afternoon and see if they say it's going to get up in the 60s this afternoon. So if it warms up, I might take it out and take it down the street just to give it a road test. And again, I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and if I take it out this afternoon, I'll just put it on another video. Again, thanks for watching.